Every story has a beginning. But long before kingdoms, before wars, before history had a name, there was a family. One father, one mother, two sons, no cities, no laws, no prisons. And yet, this family would witness the first act of jealousy, the first murder, and the first spilled human blood. This is not just the story of Cain and Abel. This is the story of the human heart, when love turns into rivalry, and when unchecked anger changes history forever. Stay with me until the end, because what happened after Abel's death is just as haunting as the crime itself. After being driven from the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve entered a world of struggle. The earth was no longer effortless. Pain, labor, and sorrow had become part of life. Then Eve conceived. When her first son was born, she named him Cain, saying, "I have gotten a man with the help of the Lord." Cain was strong, a child of the soil. As he grew, he learned to work the land, digging, planting, sweating beneath the sun. Later, Eve bore another son, Abel. Abel was different, quiet, observant, drawn to life rather than land. He became a keeper of sheep, watching over fragile creatures, guiding them, protecting them. Two brothers, same parents, same home, but not the same heart. As boys, they likely played together, learned from their father, listened to their mother speak of a lost paradise, of a garden they would never see. But as they grew, distance formed. Cain measured success by effort, by how much he produced, by how hard he worked. Abel measured life by devotion, by care, by faith. Their differences were not evil, but differences become dangerous when comparison is born, and comparison was coming. One day, both brothers brought offerings to God. Cain brought fruits of the ground, the result of his labor. Abel brought the firstborn of his flock, the best he had. Both offerings reached heaven, but only one was accepted. God looked with favor upon Abel's offering, and did not accept Cain's. The silence was unbearable. Cain's heart burned. It wasn't rejection that destroyed him. It was the belief that he deserved what his brother received. God spoke to Cain gently, "Why are you angry? If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not, sin is crouching at your door. It desires you, but you must rule over it." Cain was given a choice, and choices define destiny. Cain said nothing, but anger does not need words. One day, Cain asked Abel to go into the field. No witnesses, no walls, no laws, only brothers. And in that quiet place, jealousy turned into violence. The first human death was not an accident. It was intentional. The ground drank Abel's blood. The same soil Cain worked, now cried out against him. God came again, not with thunder, but with a question. "Where is your brother Abel?" Cain replied with words that echo through history, "I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper?" The lie was spoken, but truth was already known. God declared, "Your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground." Cain was cursed, not to die, but to live. The land would no longer yield to him. He would become a restless wanderer, alive, but never at peace. Cain cried out, not in repentance, but fear. And God marked him, not as approval, but as restraint. Justice met mercy. Abel was gone. The innocent one. The faithful one. Cain lived on, building cities, raising descendants, carrying the weight of his act. This was the first lesson humanity learned: sin begins in the heart. Unchecked anger becomes destruction, and jealousy, if fed, will demand blood. But this story is not only a warning, it is also a mirror. Every generation chooses between Cain and Abel, between humility and pride, between repentance and resentment. And the question God asked Cain, He still asks us today: where is your brother? The first brothers taught humanity its first hard truth: you are always responsible for what you allow to grow in your heart. If this story moved you, consider subscribing, liking, and sharing, because the oldest stories still speak the loudest.